Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Night California EDD Unemployment Question and Answer Live. I definitely, again, want to talk about OSHA Exclusion Pay. I think a lot of employers don't realize that they need to be paying people if they have excluded them from their place of work. So, again, this would be if you're back at work or you're an employer, and let's say that you get a notice from your place of business saying that you have come in close contact with someone that has tested positive. If you get a letter like that, and depending on your circumstances, your employer may ask you to stay home. They might exclude you from work because of workplace exposure. And if that happens, they need to pay you, and it shouldn't come out of your sick pay. So that's mandated by OSHA, and it's called exclusion pay. And I do have those linked in the description down below now. So what I would do, because I don't think a lot of employers know that they need to do this, is I would use there's 2 different links. One is to the ca.gov website about exclusion pay, and the second is an article written by a California law firm that goes over what employers need to know about OSHA exclusion pay. And so what I would do is I would go to your employer if they say you have to use sick pay, or if they say there's no pay available for you, you're just going to have to stay home and you're not going to get paid, is I would you're not going to go, I saw Shelly's Millions on YouTube or the TikTok, which had over 1 million views regarding that. You're not going to say, I found this information on TikTok or I found it on YouTube. What I would say is, I would say, I was doing a little bit of research online and I found these 2 articles that looks like you would need to pay me since you're asking me to stay home. Now, yep. So, Sabrina, what if you have no more sick time available? It is not supposed to come out of your regular sick pay. So, in California, your employer should be giving you sick pay if, whatever, they should be giving you sick pay for things like a doctor's appointment, if you had food poisoning, if you twisted your ankle, if your back is out, if you need to, I don't know, see a therapist, like whatever it is, right? And in California, it's really tricky. Most employers really can't ask you for details about what the illness that you're experiencing is, right? So it's not supposed to come out of your regular sick pay, your sick pay that you use for those other types of things. For if you're caring for a sick child, it's not supposed to come out of that. If your exposure occurred in the workplace and your employer is the one that's asking you to stay home. Now, this won't apply if you're already working from home. That's not it. So if you have no more sick pay available, if your employer is excluding you from work, they need to pay you exclusion pay. So those articles are linked down below. So what you're going to tell your employer is, hey, I was looking a little bit into it online, and I found these 2 articles from one from a law firm, a California law firm, and an attorney, and the other is directly from the ca.gov website. I think I'm eligible for exclusion pay. Can you look into that for me? And once you get that into the hands of your boss or your HR department, whoever you're going to go to about this, they're going to look at it. The writing is pretty clear cut that they need to pay you. Also, so again, it's only if the exposure occurred in the workplace and you're not working from home. If they offer you the availability to work from home, unfortunately, that wouldn't apply either. And if your workplace is your home regularly, if you're working remotely, that also wouldn't apply, because if you were exposed, it would be like in your own home. It wouldn't be something in the work environment that the employer is providing for you. Now, I have had some people say, well, how would you prove that you got it in the workplace? And the burden of proof falls on the employer. So so if you go to your employer and you say, "Hey, I think I'm eligible for this exclusion pay. I think I was exposed at work, or I think that the reason why I tested positive is because of X, Y, and Z in the workplace. I haven't gone anywhere else. I'm having my groceries delivered to my house and left on my front door," whatever the case is. If you believe that you contracted it at work and that you've tested positive, or if you've received one of those letters from your employer telling you that you were in close contact with someone, they need to pay you. And if your employer thinks that you did not test positive because of getting it from the workplace, the burden of proving that you didn't would fall on your employer, not you. You're not supposed to have to give your employer that proof. They would need to do that. And from what I know, in California, it's such a worker friendly state that your employer's not gonna, like, be able to look through your social media and see that you were partying it up on New Year's Eve. Like, they're not allowed to usually use things that you post on social media, so they're probably gonna have to pay you exclusion pay. There are a few circumstances that I'm looking into. Healthcare professionals, I'm not sure are covered by this. Teachers, police officers, firemen, I'm not sure if they're covered by this. I believe that small businesses are, but I do wanna get a few more details about that from, from the attorney that wrote that article. So I'm hoping that he will get back to me and that maybe I can do a live with him about that. And if you guys could please take a moment and like the video, I would certainly appreciate that. I also want to say about this Cal OSHA exclusion pay, I think a lot of employers don't realize that it's available because there was from the Families First Act, there was supplemental sick pay available. In California, there was supplemental sick pay available, and all of those programs expired September 30th. This program is not expired yet. Um, so that's something to be mindful of. Something else that somebody told me, they were like, I tested positive and my employer made me go to work. That is not supposed to happen. Your employer, and this is for all of the state of California, if you tell your employer that you have tested positive, I'm not sure if they're allowed to ask to see your results. I don't know that. But if you tell your employer that you have tested positive, it says that they must ex- um, exclude positive cases and exposed employees from the workplace until they're no longer an infection risk, which is either right now 10 days. It's still 10 days that you need to stay at home unless on day 5. So if you on day 5 you can test again, and if if and only if the test comes back negative and you're not experiencing symptoms, then you can go back to work. Otherwise, if you test positive, you do need to stay home. Again, that might not be true for nurses, but for most industries that most of the viewers on my channel are in, that is going to be the case. One other thing on exclusion pay before I get into your questions is a lot of people are like, well, my work isn't telling anybody when there's been exposure. Actually, I lied. There's going to be two more things. Remind me that I want to define an outbreak. But anyway, so people are telling me, oh, well, my employer isn't even telling us anymore, blah, blah, blah. So they don't have to tell you unless you have been in close contact with someone. And close contact is defined as spending more than 15 minutes in a cumulative total of 15 minutes in a 24-hour period with less than 6 feet of distance between you and your coworker. So I gave this example yesterday. I'll use it again. Let's say that my employee calls me over for, let's say I hand them their cash for their register or whatever. That's 1 minute. They take the bag from me, they go, they done with that. But then, an hour later, they need a refund and I go over there. So that's, 2 times, 2 minutes, maybe it's 4 minutes. That wouldn't be enough. That wouldn't be close contact. So if I tested positive, they wouldn't need to notify that person who took the bag from me, who I did a refund with. However, if I went over to that employee and we were standing right next to me and I did 15 refunds throughout the course of an 8-hour shift, then they would need to notify that employee that they had come in close contact with someone who had tested positive for the virus. And they can't say my name. They can't say you worked with Shelly and that's who gave you the close contact. They have to try and protect my medical privacy or whoever's medical privacy is testing positive in the workplace. They have to try and do that. So they can't tell you who. Now, obviously, in offices and work settings, you may find out, the person may tell you themselves, but your employer can't tell you who. So if you hear that Shelly got it and that's why she's out of work, that she's not really on vacation or whatever, um, the reason why your employer may not have told you is, you're probably not going to know exactly what day I tested positive or whatever. So if you hear that someone is out on vacation and they tell you otherwise, it may just be that your employer is trying to protect their privacy and that your employer has deemed that you weren't in close contact with that individual, or like you didn't work the same day or the same shift, surrounding the positive outcome. So that may be why that is. It just may be that you weren't in close contact. And the employer, if there is a positive case, should notify the other individuals that um that were in close contact. Oh, and they should ask the person that tested positive who they think they like, who did you work with? When did you work with them? How long? They should ask the person that's testing positive some of those questions as well to help them determine who they need to notify. And your employer does need to have a plan in place on how they're going to notify people and that whole thing. They really should. Um, an outbreak, guys, an outbreak is defined as more than 3 positive cases in more than a 2-week time period, 14-day time span. So, if there's an outbreak, your employer is supposed to report that to your county's public health department. It doesn't necessarily mean that the business will be shut down, but it means that the health department may come in and may help give your employer some tools to help manage those cases, but they absolutely should not make you come in if you are sick. They must exclude you from the workplace if you've tested positive. Okay, enough on that. You guys, please like the video and let's see here. Just want to remind everybody on the Golden State stimulus that the last day they're sending out payments is tomorrow, January 11th, but they want you to wait. It says up to 3 additional weeks from the date of mailing to actually receive the payment. I want to remind everybody Claimer is now calling the Franchise Tax Board, the FTB. They're the people in charge of giving you your Golden State stimulus payments. And I do have that pinned as the top comment up above. Yesterday, a lot of people were asking if there is still rent relief or rental assistance available. There is. You're going to research that on housingiskey.com. And when you apply for the rent relief, you can ask for assistance with your future rent. You don't necessarily need to be behind yet. They may ask you, are you at risk of experiencing homelessness? And they do prioritize people whose financial situation is a little bit more serious. Couple of things where they consider you to be at risk of experiencing homelessness is like if you have a late payment on any of your utility bills, your gas bill, your electric bill, having a late payment on your utilities would count towards you being at risk of experiencing homelessness. So you can let them know that if you're late on any of your utilities. If you're not late on your utilities, you can just kind of explain to them, say, you know what, I am going to be at risk of experiencing homelessness. If I don't get this assistance, I'll fall behind. And if I fall behind, I am worried that I would lose access to my housing. Guys, I have this ear thing and it's been going on for like more than 2 weeks, and I'm going to have to see a doctor about it. Jenny Silver and I have officially rescheduled our it's not a collaboration. It might be a collaboration. There might be some videos, but she's just helping me rebrand. Also, I'm wearing my cat shirt. You can get a copy of Jenny Silver's book. I have that linked in the description down below if you want to pick up a copy on Amazon. It's a beautiful book. I would love it. You know, Jenny Silver supported all of us during everything. So I would love it if you guys showed her support too. If you guys don't have small kids at home, it is a children's book called Tell Me What the Earth is Saying. Maybe you guys can do what I did and donate a copy to the library. Okay, for real now, into your questions. Scotty says, hello. Hope I'm staying safe and well. So far, so good. I am. Hi, Mel. Hi, Janeth. I'm not sure, but hello. Mel's reminding everybody to like the video. Sugar Sprinkles, nice to see you in here. I haven't seen you in a little while. Mel, your coworkers and you were talking about this today. All these kitties. Yeah. The shirt's a little big, but like, how cute is this? It's got one of these bows. Like, I feel like these bows, like, like they never tie correctly. Anyway, this is why we're to work today with my little 50s style glasses. I'm feeling it in the retro kitty shirt. There's a lot of kitties. If I'm boring during this video, you can count the cats. Okay. They are kitties. Sabrina says, oh yeah, we did Sabrina's. Hopefully you heard the answer to that. Hi, Debbie. Osvaldo, hi, good to see you. Just submitted your affidavit and 2019 paycheck stubs, even though EDD is asking for one of 2020 through one of 2021. You hope that's enough, so I won't have to pay anything back. I hope so too. If you do see your payments go to disqualified after submitting the documents, definitely give them a call, because a lot of times they are able to fix that on the phone. And of course, appeal that decision as well and submit any additional documents that maybe they instruct you to on the call. But hopefully you won't need a call. Hopefully it won't go to disqualified. And again, Jenny Silver has still not heard whether her documents were approved or not. So if you submitted your PUA, proof of employment, proof of self-employment, proof of work to the EDD and you haven't heard back yet, neither has she, and she sent it in really early. So it's not time to worry just yet about not hearing if they've accepted your documents or not. If you guys do want to share that they've accepted your documents or not, please in the chat let us know what documents you submitted and maybe a time frame. What else did I want to say about that? I don't remember. Okay, so Sabrina, you're sick and you applied for unemployment. That's not going to be the right program right now, because all of the special programs that allowed you to collect unemployment while you were also sick, those all expired. The pandemic benefits have expired. They're not available anymore. You could potentially apply for disability or workers' comp. But remember, one of the questions to qualify for unemployment benefits is, were you too sick to work? And if you say yes, that you're too sick to work, then you're not eligible for unemployment benefits that week. You would need to get disability payments because you're not able to work. So that would be disability. Now, if you have an employer and you're just not working right now, if you've tested positive, they have to exclude you from work. But the exposure didn't, if it's going to depend on if the exposure occurred in the workplace or not. Then they might owe you exclusion pay. Okay, Janeth, what if my coworkers tested positive and shut down our working site? It said that exclusion pay isn't for situations where the business completely closed down, but I'm wondering if I don't have the answer to that. but definitely take it to the boss or the HR representative of the company and find out, because it did say that it didn't apply for these certain circumstances. But if the reason why the business is closed is because there were so many cases in the workplace, exclusion pay might be available. Like versus, so if your business is closed because there were too many cases versus the business closing because they went bankrupt, or they didn't, something like that, they're not planning on reopening ever again, it could be different. So send the links from the description of the video down below regarding exclusion pay to your boss or the HR department of the company. Have them take a look at it and see if you're eligible for exclusion pay. Michael, for 2019, I ran a small business, but it had a net income of $343, but you did file a Schedule C. Is there any chance that will be okay for the proof of income for PUA? It absolutely should be. But if for any reason your payment switched to disqualified, call them, see if they can switch it over the phone. If they say that they can't, ask them what other documents you should send. It's, if you're able to show your net income, that should be enough. So, yeah. What if you're a hybrid worker? Yep, hybrid workers, part-time in the office, part-time at home, you would be eligible for exclusion pay. But again, the exposure and the positive case would have needed to originate from your workplace. But the burden of proving that you didn't get it from the workplace falls on your employer. So it's worth it. It'd be worth it to send those articles to your boss or to the HR department. Again, be real sweet. Just say, hey, I was researching it online. I found these 2 articles. Don't say I found it from some random girl on YouTube. But let people know, hey, I found these 2 articles when I was doing some research. It looks like I'd be eligible for this exclusion pay. Can you look into it and let me know? Now, another question that you guys might have is, what if they look into it and they still say, no, you're not eligible? That's when you might want to consider the following. Now, keep in mind, your employer is not allowed to retaliate against you. But is this going to create a tense work environment? Possibly. So keep that in mind, that even though they're legally not allowed to retaliate against you, I can't guarantee like you're going to be chummy with your boss like you used to if you tell them, hey, you've got to pay me for these 2 weeks that you didn't know you had to pay me for. But be very nice when you tell them. Just say, I was researching it. I found these 2 links. Can you see if you owe me this money? And if they say that they don't, and you've read through it and you're like, yes, you do, you can report them to the Labor Commission. You can report them to OSHA. You can report them to the Department of Labor. So the Labor Commission, the Department of Labor, and OSHA. So, and I don't know why, but employers seem really afraid of OSHA. Knock on wood. I don't have any. Oh, this is wood. I can knock on wood now. I got a new little shelf. Do we like it? Do we not like it? Anyway, lost my train of thought. Okay, sorry. I need to eat dinner. So tonight's live is probably only going to be at exactly an hour. You don't know if you caught it from work or from home. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be hard. Try and be honest with your employer and see what they say. Okay. Dante says, had my appeal hearing. I was awarded my denial back approved. How long before they pay my back pay from June of 2021 to when it ended on September 4th? They should send you a letter in the mail in 10 business days. So it wouldn't include the weekend. I think next Monday is Martin Luther King Day. Next Monday is a holiday, so not next Monday. 10 business days, you should receive a letter in writing. It still seems like it takes a really long time to still get the money. So after you get the letter, it might be worth calling to find out from them, or email an assembly member. I wish KAFLA TV was in here tonight. Maybe he could answer that. But it doesn't, some people are getting it like right away, but others, they're not. And So it can take a while even after you find out that you did win your appeal. Like up to 2 months, I wanna say, but I don't want you guys to wait that long, so I probably would call and just make sure that the payment's on the way, that they're about to release it. Um, Sabrina, you work in and out of ERs. So again, I'm not 100% sure if the so it's the ETS, the emergency, what the heck does that stand for? Hang on. The emergency temporary standard is what that stands for. And as mandated by Cal OSHA, that's for the exclusion pay. You might be covered under something else, 5199. That it's a separate thing. Look up 5199. I'm not sure if employees at medical facilities are covered in the exclusion pay. I am trying to find that out for sure so that I can give you guys an answer on that. Maria says, I will receive an email when my documents are reviewed for PUA approved or denied. Yes, but it can take a long time. Like Jenny Silver submitted hers like as soon as they asked. That was now several months ago, and she still hasn't heard. She submitted tax documents, which should be on the list of acceptable documents, and she still hasn't heard one way or another. Sabrina, I reported being exposed and a coworker came down with it, plus your family has it. I'm so sorry. I'm just wishing you guys the most mild of symptoms and that you don't get it. And that if you do, it's just fast recovery and mild symptoms. Oh, I'm blurry. I don't know. Sorry. Okay, well, hello. Hopefully my voice isn't blurry. I don't know. I am just using the webcam off my computer. This looks sharp. Is my face? I don't know. Guys, I don't know. We're going to have to deal with blurry, I think. Maybe I'll clean the lens on my webcam after this. Take off my glasses. No, I don't know. Okay. Maria, you'll get a letter in the mail. Rhea's family, hello. Wahiba, stay safe. It's spreading fast. Your daughter's school has teacher shortage because some teachers got it, and you hope everyone stays safe. Yes. And guys, if you wonder why I'm trying to avoid the actual word, it's because YouTube will put me on the naughty list and then not want to monetize the video if I say it. So I may call it the illness. And I try not to say the P word either, but sometimes you just have to because it's in these legal documents. Anyway, you're a first responder for, I don't know what DMH is in Los Angeles. The exclusion pay might not cover health care workers. It does cover dentists. It's specifically like that. I know it covers dentists, but I'm not sure if it will cover hospital workers. I have to be honest about that. There is a lot of legal jargon in the Cal OSHA ETS emergency temporary standard. And I'm good at researching that, but that part's a little bit vague to me. So I want to clarify that with someone else. Mel, they only want to see negative results, but then again, your company needs to see both. That's interesting. Johnston says, please, I want to know, is EDD collecting new applications? Can I create an account with EDD? Yeah, they're always accepting new applications, but keep in mind, you need to your current benefit year needs to be over. So if you're still within your original benefit year, then you wouldn't be able to file a new claim. Also, so you filed your original claim and then you would need to have gone back to work and then either been let go or lost your job or had your hours reduced due to no fault of your own in order to qualify. There's an a attachment to the workforce requirement, and then also in your highest earnings quarter since opening your original claim, you would need to have made at least $1,300. Okay. Andy, your son is finally saying daddy and finally knows who you are. That's so sweet. I'm so happy. You just wanted to stop by and say hi. And yes, you're still working, and soon you'll have your son back home with you, and you can't wait. I am so proud of you, Andy. Like, I know how far you've come, and so hearts to you as well. That is wonderful. Okay. I lost my place, you guys. So that means like the video. Where am I? I've got a lot of people in here. Andy and Scotty saying hi to each other. Mel says employers can't say due to HIPAA, like that's yeah, basically like they have to medically protect. They have to protect the privacy of your medical records. If the office is small, you pretty much know who's that. Yeah, even if it's a little bigger, like people can put two and two together. People are, I don't know, gossipy in the workplace, let's call it that. People like to gossip, people like to speculate, unfortunately. Your employer is going to try and protect your privacy, but you can probably figure it out. I think the frustrating part is people want to know if they've been in close contact, and the employer is supposed to you'd want to report them to um, the labor commission and the Department of Labor in California. You want to tell everybody that will listen, be like, hey, my employer is making people come in who are supposed to be quarantining, who are supposed to be in isolation. If someone tests positive, even if it's not that they tested positive from the workplace, and guys, that's regardless, it doesn't matter your vaccination status. That just changed. It used to be for a little while, it was like if you tested positive but you were fully vaccinated, you could still work. But now anyone that tests positive does need to stay home, and that's changed a few times, right? Let's go over that real quick. This is going to be just for the county of Los Angeles because I think this might actually be a little different from county to county. But here in Los Angeles, if you have a positive test result, you have to stay home for 10 days unless on day 5, right? And if you test positive, who wants to go home, go test again on day 5? But if you go test again on day 5 and it comes back negative and you're not experiencing symptoms, then you can go back to work. Also, if you get a notice that you were in close contact, you don't have to stay home if you've had your booster. If you've only received your initial doses, um, that doesn't count. So right now, you're supposed to stay home for 10 days unless you've had your booster. If you've received close contact to someone, then you're also supposed to test on day 1 and again on day 5. If you've had your booster and you've come in close contact, you go to work. But you are supposed to also test. And again, if even with the booster, if it comes back positive, you need to be at home for 10 days. Your employer is supposed to tell you you cannot come to work for the next 10 days or after day 5 with a negative result and no symptoms. So that is what it is for Los Angeles County. However, I do want to be clear the exclusion pay is for all of California. All right. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, more than 3 people, the job needs to bring a testing company. Yeah, I think I have heard that. Maria, thank you so much to all of you who are reminding everyone to like the video. I really appreciate that. Kuram, when is the Golden State stimulus coming? Most people should have already received it by now. If you got the first one, then you don't get the second one. If you didn't get the first one, they changed the income requirements and they made it so that you could get $500 for dependents. So if you have any dependents, and you got the first one, then you would be getting $500 this time around. If you didn't get the first one, then and your income meets the requirements, then you would be expecting $600. And if you didn't get it the first time and you have dependents, then you would be expecting $1,100, $1,100, however you want to say that. Remember though, if unemployment benefits were your only source of income, then you would not meet the requirements to receive the Golden State stimulus. All right, Andrew, you want to write a book, but it's probably going to be about the art of dancing because I'm a crazy maniac of a dancer, as you've seen in a few of your videos. Your videos are so fun, and I would love to see a children's book about, like, I don't know, the crazy dancer. That would be cool. So hopefully Jenny Silver gives us that step-by-step tutorial on how to write and self-publish a children's book any day now. And she's also sick right now, so let's all wish her well and happy healing. Okay. James, tell me what my mind is saying. I don't know. Linda, I have a beautiful outfit today and you dig it. Well, thank you. Okay. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Sugar Sprinkles. You haven't been here in a while. Oh, you've been sick too. You haven't touched your phone, just sleeping a lot. Well, speedy recovery to you. Andrew is wishing Andy, just asking how he's been. Prince Ali says, we need a second $600 stimulus check from California. In fact, we need a 2K federal check again. I can't say that I disagree, and I'm actually starting to see financial um, evidence that I was just reading an article before I came on to do this live about how people's savings are decreasing and people are starting to be late on things like their credit card payments. And that's because there hasn't been more stimulus provided by the government. So, yep, the numbers are starting to show that as well. Sabrina, you have an employer. Okay, Mercedes, I'm so over this. I wish it was over. I think everyone is, you know? And I just want to say, you guys, there was someone in my stream yesterday, and they were like financially struggling, and they admitted that they were still, delivering Postmates, and I advise against that. But even my mom was like, they should stay home. But then she's like, but she as well was like, I get it. They we need more stimulus because people shouldn't have to choose, do I go to work sick and risk infecting more people, or do I pay my bills? Like, that's insane that we're being made to make those choices. Here's another thing that trips me out, right? About this exclusion pay, this which is really extra sick pay. Um, if you're vaccinated, fully vaccinated, not necessarily boosted, if you're vaccinated and you have a cough or you have a runny nose and you think it's allergies, your employer actually should be asking you every day when you go to work if you have symptoms, if you've come in close contact. And then, like, if you said, oh, I have a cough or I have a runny nose, they should be checking with their corporate office to find out what the company policy is on that. But in a lot of cases, if you're fully vaccinated, you can just work. So there's, the testing sites, they're running about 5 days behind in some cases in getting people their results. It used to be like they would tell you, oh, we'll get you your results within 48 hours, and you'd test at 5 p.m. and you'd have the results by 8 a.m. the next morning. That's not happening. It's now taking 5 days in some cases to get those results back. And those lines are long. Like, right, even when we were supposed to be staying at home, there's a place near my house that does testing. There'd be like 2 couples standing outside, 3 couples standing outside. Now that line is packed and it's around the corner. PS guys, like, please keep 6 feet of distance between yourselves and those lines. Like, everybody that it's there probably thinks they have it, and the case positivity rate's really high. So keep 6 feet of distance when you're in those testing lines. Don't be right up on the people around you. Stay back. Double mask. I don't know. But be careful is really what I mean to say. And, like, I hate that people financially are in a situation where they feel like they have to choose, right? Between making sure that their bills are paid and taking the time that they need off work so that they don't expose other people. But yeah, people are over it. I'm over it. I am. I'm over it. I don't know when it's gonna be over, though, and I don't think anybody does. I know that none of us thought it would be this long. Alright, but wishing that you guys are all safe and healthy and, happy. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. Osvaldo, I recently tested positive, and they told me I had to wait 10 days, and the company only pays for 2 days when they asked where I think I might have got it from. Did you say, "Hey, I think I caught it at work"? Because if you do, then you would qualify for exclusion pay. Okay. Karen, hi. Haven't heard if they liked your Schedule C tax returns. Thank you for mentioning that Jenny hasn't heard back either. You started to get nervous. Yeah, she's my gauge, guys, because I know that she sent it back really quickly. So I might start to worry a little bit if I hear that she's heard. And this how crazy is that? Like, that you can't rely on the EDD to give you information, so it's like, "Okay, well, Shelly heard from Jenny, who heard from the EDD." Like, it shouldn't be that complicated, especially this far into it. Like, they should have their act together more than they do, but they don't. Okay. Guys, what do we think of this background? Should I leave that? Is that distracting? Is my cat shirt distracting? Okay, sorry. You guys know I'm a little bit loopy. I have not eaten dinner yet. So, anyway, back to the questions. Less dancing. Vanjie says, in a more ideal situation, the federal programs of unemployment extensions would have at least lasted until March of this year. What do you think? Is that asking for too much? It doesn't matter what I think. It's really tough, right? Like, I don't I don't know what this is. There's businesses were needing to shut permanently because they weren't allowed to open and operate, right? What do you tell someone that just sunk all of their money into a brand new restaurant and then they can't operate that restaurant and they still have to pay the rent on that restaurant, right? Again, and I guess like people shouldn't be made to choose. But then there's people that's like, well, this is going to create debt for our grandkids. Like, yeah, the money doesn't exactly come out of thin air. Like, basically, this is like a credit card that the government's going to be making minimum payments on for the rest of their lives. And at some point, right, like this is kind of like a credit card where you guys know my roof was leaking. What do? You put it on a credit card, right? And then because this is how life is, knock on wood, because this is not the actual case, but then you have a car repair, and then the cat needs to go to the vet, and then you gain 50 pounds and you have to buy new clothes. Like, so that's kind of what's happening to the government. And you don't have any money for any of these things. You just keep putting it on credit cards, keep putting it on credit cards. And at some point, the credit cards are going to be too big and unmanageable, right? So that was kind of the concern. And I do think I have to be honest with you guys, and I think most of you probably can deduce this as well. There were certainly people who would have been able to go back to work and they didn't, or who were safe, who already got it and had natural immunity or something. But they were like, there's lots of news articles about fraud and things like that. Certainly the system was abused. But yes, I think that there should be a lot of circumstances where the funds were extended. But it doesn't matter what I think, because unfortunately, I don't have the power to do much about it. But it is frustrating, and I kind of think that we should shut down again. The cases are so crazy high. But again, the federal government, the state government doesn't seem to want to step in and do that because that would make a lot of people angry as well. And then, like, if there's all these outbreaks, right, with the cases this high, I find it really hard to believe that a lot of businesses don't have 3 cases and need to report it to the health department. And, like, potentially, if it gets too bad, the health department could potentially, like, ask the business to close down, potentially. They don't always. But, like, I wonder if you'll start to see businesses do that. I know certainly because of high case counts, some businesses don't have enough employees to work all the shifts that they need to, so they're working reduced hours. There's a Starbucks across the street from my job, and I don't know what time a Starbucks normally closes, but I know that, like, this one closes at 3 o'clock now, and I do know, like, Starbucks used to be open for kids to go after school and, like, do their homework there while they, develop a terrible caffeine habit and terrible finance habit. Um, and that one's closing at 3 o'clock, and I think they're closed certain days too, so there's definitely staffing concerns as well, especially if your employer is doing what they're supposed to and having you stay home if you test positive. Then I also think, right? I don't want to speculate, but I have to think, right? I recently got a letter that I had come in close contact with someone who had tested positive, and I took a home test. It was negative. But I have to think that there's a lot of people who are getting these notices and they're taking home test, and those home test, those numbers probably aren't going into the system of like the cases. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to search that. Like, do you have to like tell on yourself if you get it to the CDC so that they have accurate reporting numbers? And the results I found were inconclusive. But like, how is the reporting accurate if they're not including positive results from a home test? Anyway, okay. Karen. Oh, nope, we did that one. Osvaldo says, I said I'm not sure, but now that I think about it, I could have gotten from work when I was waiting in line to get the test. Yeah, so let them know that maybe that's where you think you got it. I don't be honest, with your employers. This is to my knowledge, the exclusion pay is not coming out of like federal funds, it's coming out of the company's budget. And I know that companies have like reputations for being like greedy, but they're trying to recover right now too. So it's a really tough spot to be in. They're probably having to pay all the rent from 2020 when they were completely shut. And a lot of businesses are just barely making it. And now here we go with this. Also, I have a feeling that a lot of employers, like literally the TikTok that I made about exclusion pay has over 1 million views. So probably a lot of people went to their employers this morning talking about exclusion pay, and the employer is probably like, what? I can't afford this right now. Then there's people that say the employers shouldn't be in business if they can't afford to pay their employees. But a lot of businesses, right? And this is the problem with some of this PUA, proof of income. You start your business kind of in the hole, right? You have to pay utilities and construction cost and to have menus printed and to buy food handling gloves and tongs and I don't know, wine glasses. And then you're paying your employees. Like most businesses, when it's your first business, you don't just have tons of cash lying around to do these things. It's tough. It's tough. Okay. Enough on that. Myra. Hi, Myra. Haven't seen you in a while either. What happens if someone forgot to report they were getting unemployment on their taxes? You should probably amend your taxes. If they audited you, that could get you in some hot water. You would probably owe more money. Guys, definitely wait until you have your 1099-G from unemployment before you file. I think I read that they're starting to take personal tax returns starting January 27th. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't go file. Oh, that's blurry over there. Interesting. That doesn't necessarily mean that you can't file right now, like with H&R Block or TurboTax, but the IRS isn't going to look at it until January 27th. And again, they're not talking about forgiving any of the unemployment benefits that we got in 2021 either. So they're not taxable on the state level here in California, but they are taxable on the federal level. And don't forget that if you got that $300 boost, even if you checked the box to have taxes withheld, that the EDD wasn't able to withhold taxes on that extra $300, which could mean that you might owe this year. Also, if you didn't have health insurance this year, there are fines for that, starting at $800 for adult individuals. Mel, your friend hasn't heard. We did check online, still says paid. No news is still good news. LOL, I agree. Hi, Dan. How contagious is this? The testing sites have been having long lines in Bixby. Where's Bixby? I know where Bixby Knolls is in Long Beach. Anyway, yeah, all the lines are like around the blocks, and I haven't read like exactly how contagious this is, but it's real contagious from what I've read. Like, but I don't know the exact percentage, and I kind of think that the testing numbers are coming back low. But yeah, I've also heard about people taking like waiting 3 hours in line to get tested, because that's exactly what we want to do if we're not feeling well, and or like if it's our day off and we got a letter saying we've come in close contact, is stand in a 3-hour long line. But yeah, they do say it's more contagious. But I don't know, and I don't know by what percentage or any of that stuff. I I think they said it's more contagious than the measles, but, like, honestly, I'm too little to remember what the measles spread was like, and I'm 44, but, like, I don't remember that. That had that I don't have, like, a context. I can't put that in context, right? I didn't experience it, so I don't know. Maybe my mom would remember. I don't know. Okay, Vanjie says, "People I know on PUA still have heard nothing. Zilch from the EDD, but apparently they're backlogged so much. Backlogged to 2025, perhaps. I hope not that long." Tien says, "Do we need to cancel the EDD debit card or just leave it until it expires?" I would just hang on to it until it expires. I don't think there's a need to cancel it. And as a matter of fact, hang on to it because, like, put it in a safe space. I think they're good for 3 years. And a lot of people, when actually all this happened, they ran into trouble because the EDD didn't automatically issue a new Bank of America debit card when they signed up. They were loading payments onto the old cards. So I do recommend hanging on to your EDD debit card until it expires because, knock on wood again, that nothing happens, that we all stay employed safely and healthily, and happily and wealthily. Anyway, if something were to happen again and you would need unemployment benefits again before that card expires, they won't issue you a new one. So, and that created a lot of problems for people this time. So hang on to that. Mr. Rick, I only got paid a month for PUA. Will I have to pay that back? It depends. You need to make sure that you submit your whatever documents they are requesting from you. Oops, lost my place. How is this possible? I'm not even that far behind. Losing feed and audio. Uh-oh. That's interesting. 9:34. That was 20 minutes ago. All right, I'm so sorry. Hi, Twista. Hopefully, you're having fun. That's funny. Okay. So Mel says, when I had my appeal in 2020, the judge reversed it within the day I got your overpayment back. That is awesome. And you do hear people say that their payments switch to paid after they have their appeal before they even get the letter notifying that they won their appeal. So just like some people are finding out that their PUA proof of work documents weren't accepted because when they log on to their UI online homepage, they're noticing that the payment switched to disqualified. It can happen the opposite way also. When you do have your appeal, you can log on to your UI online homepage, notice that everything has switched to paid that same day, load it onto the debit card by the next day, and you can have that happen before you even get your letter. But I also see people say that they got their letter, told them they won, and then they're still fighting to get their benefits. A lot of teachers got sick. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, Department of Mental Health for the EDD. I think so, man. Banji, maybe the concept of a benefit year should be abolished completely. That way you don't have to wait until your benefit year is over if you're still in need. The thing is, so also, if you have a claim balance left on your account and you're within your benefit year, then you could draw down the benefits until the claim balance hits zero if you became unemployed again through no fault of your own. I feel like I notice my monitor flickering too. I don't know. The person that works from home has been like yelling at me, telling me that the internet hasn't been working right. And they've actually been going into the office more because of it rather than working from here. So maybe something is wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I'm glad you guys, okay. Some of you can hear, but Prince Ali couldn't. Maybe I don't know. Okay. Maybe Baby Yoda's back there doing I feel like it's moving more than normal. I don't know. I'll look into it after the stream. So the income requirements for the Golden State stimulus needs to be that you earned under $75,000, and you do need to have some earned income. So if all of your income, for example, was from unemployment benefits, that wouldn't be earned income. So you do need to have some earned income in order to qualify. Okay, Cameron says, so what happens if we already used all of the unemployment insurance? So you wouldn't have any access to any more unemployment benefits after the balance hits zero, and you're not even able to apply again until after your benefit year is over. Summer, you had to do an amendment on my taxes. Will I still get my stimulus check, or is it too late? So the amendment needed to be filed by October 15th. If it was filed after that, I'm not sure if you would get it. And the Franchise Tax Board, who is in charge of issuing the Golden State stimulus payments, they did say to allow even more time if you're somebody who filed your taxes late. Okay, Mel, have I read the article about I haven't yet. I'm so far behind on everything. I worked a 15-hour day last week, and that throws you, because after you work a 15-hour day, then it's hard to get anything done the next day because you're just tired and trying to recover from your 15-hour day. It's a mess. Anyway, Debbie, white shelf is a nice touch, but what's the little green man? He's just hanging around. He's sad. He wants to match you here. He's sad because employers don't know how to pay you your sick pay. Now he's lopsided. Anyway, Michael, you're welcome. Mel, the lines are so long. Yeah, they're crazy. I took a picture. Like, I feel like we could tell like where we are in this thing by how long the lines at the testing sites are. And then in South Africa, from what I read, or I don't want to be careful, like I'm not some expert, I'm definitely not a doctor, but in South Africa, where they first detected this strain, the cases peaked and then they declined really quickly. So hopefully, since they're certainly peaking here, hopefully they'll be on the decline soon. Okay, LM, hi. There's a lot of you in here that I haven't seen in a while, so I'm glad. I think maybe it's because I notified people this time a little bit in advance. LM says, I was on PUA due to not having a traditional job, and I submitted my offer of employment from the employer at the end of November, and still no word. That should be acceptable as proof of work documentation, so hopefully you'll hear soon. Yeah, I don't think we'll get another federal stimulus. State stimulus is possible. They were expecting that there was going to be a surplus in the state budget from 2021, but I don't know. They've indicated that Gavin Newsom doesn't necessarily want to use the funds to give us yet another stimulus payment. Thank you, Sugar Sprinkles, for reminding everybody to like the video if they haven't. Karen says EDD continues to be a nightmare. They sure do. Dan, I had to reschedule my ortho appointment because the whole office got sick. Yeah, you guys don't want to know this. My mom, right? Dental stuff is genetic, and my mom has she handed me her like bad teeth genetics. I usually need 3 deep cleanings. They find a year. They normally find a cavity like every time they go. It's a mess. My mouth is like a hot mess. And I didn't go for like a year because I was scared. Like, those people have to put their mouths in your mouth. They don't put their mouths in your mouth. If they do, go to a different dentist. They have to put their hands in your mouth. Like, that's weird. And of course they should be wearing gloves, but like, I don't know, dude. Oof. I was nervous. I didn't go to the dentist. So that's yet another business. Like, dentists definitely suffered through that. They were allowed to be open, they were an essential business, but people didn't go as much as they were before all of this happened. Some people lost their health insurance. Some people just weren't comfortable going. And honestly, I still haven't been as many times as I probably should go. I'm trying out a new dentist too. I love my dentist so much. I was driving like 2 hours to go see him. Okay. Anyway, that sucks. Debbie says, who can wait in line 4 to 6 hours with potentially sick people? Right. Okay. Mel says Starbucks and Coffee Bean are closing early these days. They're closed certain days due to low staffing. Will we ever be out of this? I certainly hope so. I really, 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 really hope so. There has to be an end eventually. Move the green man. there were 45K that tested positive. Let's see what the case count was. The best place to go for that information, guys, is Twitter. EDD is actually kind of good on Twitter also. I don't quite understand Twitter, and I really don't understand Reddit. Oh, Robert Durst died, the guy from the movie Jinx, who at the end was like, I did it. I killed them all. And he was still on camera. Did you guys watch that? It was so good. I just spoiled it for you, but it was like a true story anyway. So, oh, crazy. And then his family, oh, crazy. And I think he liked it. Oh, whatever. Watch the Jinx. I think it was on HBO. Okay. Anyway, 43,000 cases. Here's what I worry about though. Now, the hospitalizations, there's people that are saying, so some of these hospitalizations, people are going into the hospital for like a burst appendix or something like that. And while they're there, they're testing them and then they discover that they're positive. But look, so the hospitalizations, that's from today, 3,475, 13 deaths. There's not as many deaths, so that's good. Oh my goodness. Let me just look this up a different way. I also do it like this. Los Angeles. It knows. My phone knows that I want to search that. And I'm sorry if this is a bummer, but I think, let me know if you guys don't want me to share this. Okay, so today, 3,472 hospitalizations. Yesterday, only 3,364. So jumped 100. But like a couple days before that, it was, I don't know. The hospitalizations are concerning me. I want it to be over too, you guys. I really do. I haven't visited my mom recently because I'm a little bit nervous and I'm like yelling at her again. I'm like, only go out for essential errands. I was like, guys, also, let's go back to sanitizing our hands all the time, sing happy birthday through twice. And I was like, Mom, you better sanitize your hands before you take off your mask. Like, don't touch it. And then after too, I guess, because then if you touch, I don't know, like just sanitize all the time. Kenneth says Congress needs to pass a new law so 10,000 or more from 2021 is exempt. Someone write AOC. She's sick right now too. Ben says, you love the golden doodle. What a beautiful dog in her profile pic. I can't see it. Where am I? What did I miss? Oh, shoot. Okay. I skipped your question, Killman 23 at 10:25. It's not 10:25 yet. 9:25? I don't know. Ask it again. Hang on to the EDD debit card. If this happened again, people would be afraid to apply for EDD. Yeah, but we would need to. Tian says, even though we checked the box to withhold, we still owe. It really depends on everyone's individual tax situation. Not necessarily, but the EDD wasn't able to, they didn't withhold the taxes from the extra 300. So if you're someone who has gone back to work, and you've made some extra money outside your unemployment benefits, you could end up owing. It varies so much from individual to individual. All I know is that checking the box didn't necessarily mean that they took it out of the 300. They weren't able to do that. So depending on your situation, you could owe, but you might not also. So, just do your taxes and see what happens. Ben says he's haunting the stream. That's why there's a disturbance. Myra wants to know, will my taxes work for proof of work? Yes, they should. Make sure that you're supplying them for the time frame that they're asking for. Gavin should give us another stimulus if he wants to stay in office. Can he run again? Can governors just get elected endlessly? He might be in his last term. That's what I think. Kenneth. Oh no, we read Kenneth's. Mercedes says, even with dental insurance, dentist will deplete all of your savings and checking accounts. So expensive. Yeah, that's true. I have a lot of crowns. I joke that I'm pretty sure that I've put one of my dentist kids through college. Because he was my dentist from the time I was 20 and I'm just now, like, I'm 44. So that's 24 years. I'm positive I've put his kids through college. Positive. Mel, EDD is good for Twitter, but they can't respond. Well, that's true. Ba, 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 ba. Mike, no tax credit this year. No, there's not, unfortunately. Dan, you want to go through your, or you want to go far for your ortho? Yeah, you could if you feel like driving. I like my dentist. St. Matthew, but hospitals get federal funding for deaths and illnesses. Meaning what? For extra staffing help? I'm not sure. Anyway, Mercedes says you go to Mexico to save money on dental work. You save more than half the price, and your dentist was trained in America and worked here for a while too. That is really awesome. And yeah, my friend that works out of the garage, they're talking about that as well, going to Mexico to do it. I haven't done that. Like, I don't know where to go. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I think teeth is like dientes. I don't know. Um, I used to date a guy, he's my ex-boyfriend for a long time now, but he went to India to get braces because like the whole round trip to India and back with braces, and he lived there the whole time he was wearing the braces, and that was cheaper than getting them here in the US. If you have disability, is it taxable? I'm not sure about that. You guys, I'm not a tax professional. I don't work for the EDD. I've just got good at reading these documents and try and sort stuff out. I'm not sure on that question, so you would need to check with a actual financial advisor. I'm sorry, I don't like when I don't know the answer. Yada yada says people need to make a choice, either work, sick, or starve. They need to pass something in California. I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, Bob Saget, Betty White. You guys, I'm definitely gonna do the thing. I think they're saying on what would have been Betty White's 100th birthday to pick like a animal shelter. She was a big animal lover and donate in her name. So I'm definitely gonna do that this year. Kenneth's. Oh, hi, KFLA TV, 10 p.m. and I'm still going. I am. Dang it. I had a question for you earlier, but I don't remember what it was anymore. Hi, Josie. Kenneth, the governor of California, can serve 2 terms. Newton is finishing up his first term. Again, politics not my strong point, but yeah. Okay, Marissa says, if I'm self-employed and have the option to reapply, can I refile with self-employment? No, there's no program anymore for there's no program anymore for people that were self-employed, so you would need some W-2 wages in order to qualify for a new unemployment claim. Hi, Erin. Love the Betty White animal donation dedication. Maybe I'll like stream that day, and like if I get donations for the stream, that's on January 17th was supposed to be her birthday. Let's look. Okay. January 17th is next Monday. Let's donate next Monday's stream if anybody wants to donate, and they don't have to, but I'll donate the proceeds from next Monday night's live to Betty White Animal. It's not the Betty White. We'll donate any money that the video makes to the Betty White. There's not a Betty White Animal Fund. We'll donate it to an animal shelter, any money that I make from next Monday's live. There we go. Okay. And then we donated in her name. They just announced how Betty White passed. She had a stroke 6 days before she passed. I don't want to think about that. That's so sad to me. And the reason why that's sad to me is it tells me that maybe she was alone for those 6 days. This is gonna like make me tear up. So we got to think of something happy to do. We'll keep the baby Yoda sad for a second. This is something that really concerns me is people, I mean, there's a saying, it was in the movie Donnie Darko, like every living being dies alone, which is so sad. But like I think about my mom, right? And I feel like that just means that somebody didn't see her for those 6 days. Like they say that like the side of your face droops a little bit, or that like you have, there's some signs usually that someone's experienced a stroke. So did Betty White not have anybody with her for those 6 days before she passed that noticed that, hey, maybe we should take her to the doctor? I don't know. Sidney Portier. Yeah, I don't know if I said his name right. He was like, He was the first like real African American successful actor, right? And he tap danced too. Am I thinking of the wrong guy? Definitely one of the first. Why do I think he tap danced? Please let me be right. Eat my dinner. All right. Sydney. Okay. Did he tap dance? I went to images. It's not the yes. No? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, we're losing a lot of celebrities. Eat my dinner. It's bad for my health to eat too late. Yeah, but I work in a movie theater. So like, guys, a lot of times I eat at like 1:00 in the morning. Let's do a couple more. Hi, Henry. I haven't seen you in here in a while. I'm thinking of the Nichols brothers. I don't think I've heard of the Nichols brothers. He did. Who am I thinking now? Now that's going to drive me crazy. Who was the guy that tap danced? Sammy Davis. How did I just confuse Sammy Davis Jr.? That's totally who I was thinking of. That probably is a sign that I need to eat dinner. Can I cut this? Because I'm like embarrassed. I'm real embarrassed. Okay. Last time I'll ever make that mistake. Sidney Poitier was an actor, though, not a tap dancer. Gene Kelly. Definitely wasn't confusing Gene Kelly. One of my favorite movies is Singing in the Rain. Terrible. Okay. Hopefully you guys know me. Like I'm not. I suck. That's what happens. Okay. Sammy. I was thinking of Sammy Davis Jr. All right. Move on, Shelly. Okay. Prince Ali. Oh, you got back from a Pink Floyd song. Oh, brick in the wall. Okay. So, Kenneth, you can't love animals and eat meat simultaneously. What am I? I'm missing stuff. Okay, I've really veered off here. Kenneth says, Betty White loved animals so much, yet she ate meat. I'm surprised she's not vegan or vegetarian. It's tricky. Okay, let's read Henry's, and then I'm going to go, and I'm going to go educate myself. I'm going to go watch some Sidney Poitier movies. I feel like I'm saying his name wrong, too, because I've heard people on social media say it, and it's not how I thought it sounded. Okay, anyway, Henry Cruz says, you recently got a seasonal job back in November and you were laid off on the 1st of January. Just wondering how I will report taxes this year if I was on the PEUC extension last year. So the EDD soon will be sending us out our 1099 Gs. That'll say how much money we received from unemployment benefits and how much we had withheld in taxes. Then you'll report that when you file your taxes, and then you'll also get like a W-2 or something from the person that you're working for, and you'll report that as well. Okay. You guys, I'm really still embarrassed. Sammy Davis Jr. was incredible in the Cannonball Run. Okay, maybe I'll watch that. Happy Gilmore. That's more modern. Kenneth. Harry Belafonte was a big black actor, famous before Sidney Poitier. I'm not saying his name right. Michelle says, any word when we might get an answer from the EDD? No, but I do want to mention yet again that Jenny Silver has not heard back yet. Okay. KFLA TV says, EDD put on a pause reviewing some PUA documents. They need, they're screwing up the process big time. Wait, so they're not doing it? I do see that. Don't worry about not receiving an approval letter after the PUA eligibility documents. So again, no news is good news. And you guys, KAFLA TV is a very good source. He actually works with an assembly member who you guys know were very, very helpful throughout all of this. So he is definitely a good source. You guys know that once I was worried because somebody mentioned something in the stream and I hadn't been able to verify if she was credible or not. And I blocked the link and I feel bad about that. She was credible. But he definitely is credible. Sometimes you have to be careful what people post in the streams, but he is a credible source. And yeah, so he's saying that no news is good news. Have they officially put a pause on reviewing that? I also saw that they are reviewing state disability claims. They're checking with medical providers through the ID.me process. So I think he's just saying, kind of, Mel, what we've been saying is no news is good news, because they've kind of like they're just behind. He's saying they paused reviewing some PUA documents because there's flaws in the system. And that's because of a conversation that he had with his EDD liaison. Kenneth said, I heard Red Rocket is an incredible independent film. I have too. That's not playing where I work. Yeah, the STI news was on the last weekly update. Ooh, I need to get back to doing those. I want to move away from the EDD content, but it's a little bit easier. Guys, I also, for my members only, I applied for a job out of state in Louisiana, working with one of the people that I've done a collaboration with on the channel, somebody that is in the Graham Stephan mentorship. And I'm nervous. I want the job and I don't want the job. I would be relocating my mom as well. Yeah. Anyway, okay. Kenneth says, your assemblyman is in a tough re-election fight against Laura Friedman. I don't know any of those names. I know Lorena Gonzalez, because she was amazing. You can't move away from EDD. Well, I would still probably know about it, and I'm sure all my employees would still be asking me about it, so I would still be in the know. I haven't been offered the job. I'm also really afraid of snakes, and they have snakes in Louisiana. And they also have like hurricanes. The guy that I would be working for, he posted videos even though a hurricane came and he had to upload using a generator. It's crazy. What is not accepted? LM, how will we know if our docs were approved if we don't have to worry? Thank you. A good way to check if your PUA documents were not accepted is to log into your UI Online account, check your claim history, and see if you've been disqualified or not. If you see DQ means disqualified, if you see disqualified status, then your docs were not accepted. You want a new job, but you're nervous. A lot of people are nervous. And I love my existing job, but I want to be part of the Great Resignation a little bit. I would love to make YouTube work. So he does YouTube, right? If I got the job, this is what it'd be. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about this. Then I'll check one more time to see if there's questions, and then I'm going to go. And this will probably be the first time my mom's hearing about this. She yells at me sometimes because she learns things about. Good night, Debbie. Yeah, I'll be on next Sunday morning at 11 a.m. My mom gets frustrated because she sometimes learns about these things from my YouTube lives. So it's somebody that I did a collaboration with, not Sunglasses Guy, the other gentleman, Grant Navarre. So check out his channel, KFLA TV. I might be interested. Let's talk. We still have to go. We have to go out, but not right now because the cases. Anyway, so he does YouTube. He's looking for somebody to kind of be an assistant, somebody to help him edit, somebody to help him film. But he owns and manages multiple properties. He just bought an apartment complex. He's remodeling properties. When the hurricanes hit, he goes in and he fixes the properties himself. He has a car dealership. What else does he do? He does like a million things, right? And I feel like I want to be in that energy, right? I want to be around someone who's really hustling all the time. And you guys know that I'm going to be working with Jenny Silver because she's a business coach for creatives. So that's me. I just want to be around Jenny Silver. I want to see, because she works really hard. I think it would do me good to be around somebody that is that hardworking. And that's not to say I'm not hardworking, but I tell myself, oh, well, I worked a 15-hour day today, so I just want to lay on the couch and watch TV tomorrow. And then I do. And then like I don't get videos out. So, but other people, they work a 15-hour day and they have to upload videos using a generator because they're uploading in the middle of a hurricane and they still get it done. So I really want to be around that kind of energy. And I know I'd be great at the property management side. Like I'd be great at answering calls. Oh, your toilet's broken. Yeah, let me call a plumber for you. I'd be super good at that part of it. I'm not afraid to even fix the toilets myself. I think most of the time overflowing toilets are easy to fix. Although sometimes I get ahead of myself, I'll watch like a YouTube tutorial and then I will get most of it done and not be able to finish it. Anyway, I know I'm rambling. I appreciate you guys listening. It's probably because I'm nervous. Like I half want the job, but I would be nervous to move. Just moving. I've never lived outside of California. I am born and raised in Los Angeles County. I've lived in lots of places within Los Angeles County, but um, never lived anywhere else. I also wouldn't wanna be that far away from my mom. I've been to Louisiana. I loved New Orleans. Of course, that's where I went. This is not where that would be. I think it's Lake Charles, Port Lake Charles would be where I'd be located. Finding housing is nervous. Like, I wouldn't be used to the weather, although I did like it. The food is good there. Anyway, so, so yeah. So I'm excited about that. My mom would also have to come with me, so because I'm not gonna leave her. So I don't know. But I also think that, like, I need to improve some of my YouTube skills. Like, I'm not the best at editing. I wanna get better, and so to be around people that do that, then I would like that. Okay. KLFA TV, the guy that invented the toilet is named Thomas Crapper. Is that true? All right, let me read some of these. It's so weird. Claimer has a YouTube channel with a guy who acts like Claimer does not run the channel. Yeah, and I don't know why they do that. But anyway, I actually do like the Claimer people. I think that they started the business from a good place. Like Thomas was legitimately unemployed and he was just frustrated with calling and he had like the knowledge to do whatever the heck the system does that calls the EDD. And so he made it. And then Jenny Silver kind of like did like an expose. She like uncovered the service and it blew up and took off from there. They do have a really good referral program. So like if Kenneth, if you needed to call using Claimer and then your sister needs to call the IRS or the franchise tax board about her Golden State stimulus, or they're calling the disability lines now too, they could use your referral code and then it makes the call really, really cheap if you refer one friend. I think he's smart, you know. I don't love the idea of people feeling like they have to pay to get through to the EDD, but if you look at like your time and your schedule, you know, it might be worth the 14.99. Many people were like, yes, it was so worth it. It was the only way to get through. So and if you need my referral link, I've got it pinned in the top comment and it's linked down below. I think it's really smart that they've moved into calling the IRS. Okay. So don't move to Louisiana. It's humid. KFLA, you might actually be able to afford me. Like I was a salaried manager and I've been with the company 25 years, but I bet you know what the legal requirements are for salary. I don't make very much more than that. I pretty much make the bare minimum to be salaried in California, which is one of the reasons why I'm considering leaving. Also, I'm considering leaving because making those YouTube videos that just say, I quit, seem to do really well. Like they seem to go viral. And then if I made enough money, all right, let's talk. And then Kenneth, the voters voted it down. ASM, what are we talking about there though? KFLA should tell his assemblyman boss to write a bill to repeal the Costa-Hawkins and also the Ellis Act. I have to look into all that. Kenneth, you're a fourth generation Angelina will never move. You would be stupid to give up a rent controlled apartment. Agreed. If you guys have rent control in Los Angeles, stay. Night night. Good night, Ernie. Thank you for stopping in. And I hope you're doing well. You've seemed in good spirits given everything that's going on. Thank you for continuing to support the channel. David Lee, child of God. What papers do we need from the IRS to file this year? Well, we don't need them from the IRS. Usually we need them for the IRS, but we're going to need a 1099-G from the EDD. Then we are going to need any W-2s from any employers, any self-employment income. Guys, remember if you're self-employed, so like Uber, Etsy, eBay, any of that, if you make more than $400 net, you are supposed to report that. Something, what? Okay. The anti-rent control proposals that you detest. Yeah. Stay in your rent control place. Okay, guys, this seems like a good place to end the live. KAFLA, let's definitely talk. KAFLA, can you please share again the information about when they're doing the boosters, and what that address is? So KAFLA TV works for a nonprofit, and at that nonprofit, you don't have to be, it is geared towards Koreans in the community, but you by no means need to be Korean to use their services. He also runs a channel that talks about EDD in Korean. They're going to be giving out the COVID boosters if you haven't received yours yet, or your first or your second dose, if you've decided that you want to go and get that done. They're going to be doing it at the place where the nonprofit where he works, and it's coming up. I want to say that it was a Tuesday. I feel like it was the 24th. But I might have that wrong. I'm going to try and figure it out. It's definitely not the 24th. It must be the 25th. Anyway, KAFLA is probably like half checked in, half checked out. I do mention it at the end of the live, and maybe KAFLA TV. I will share that as a community post if you send me that. So that's a Monday. Oh, that's not next. It's not Betty White's birthday, where I'll be donating any money made during the stream and from the stream to an animal shelter. But it's January 24th from 9 a.m., starting at 9 a.m., the first, second, and booster shots, and you can choose. They've got them all. They're going to have Moderna, they're going to have Pfizer, they're going to have the Johnson & Johnson. So whatever you need, they got it. And it's at the Korean American Federation of Los Angeles at 981 Southwestern Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90006. So check that out if you are in need of your booster, any of them. Vaccine buffet. Let's just get them all. Put them all in there. Mix them up, shake them around, see what happens. Don't do that. I'm not actually recommending that. You can mix, though. They're saying that that's okay. So like if you had Pfizer, they're saying it's okay to get your booster as Moderna. If you had Moderna, they're saying it's okay to get your booster as Pfizer. Just if you guys want to know, my mom is highly allergic and to everything pretty much. She had the Pfizer. She was fine. I had Pfizer. I've had my booster. My mom hasn't. We waited a long time to get her vaccinated because she's so highly allergic. But I got Pfizer all 3 times. I've also now had numerous letters and numerous friends call me, be like, "Oh, I tested positive." And so then I have to like do my at-home nose swabs or whatever. They've all come back negative. So knock on wood again that continues to be the case. But yeah, so I had Pfizer all 3 times, just in case you guys are curious. You know, I know a lot of people are nervous about it, right? I've been babbling a long time tonight. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys so that you guys know. Yeah. Okay. I've got my booster. My mom hasn't got hers, but I think I'm out of town that week. That's the week I'm going to go up and meet with Jenny Silver. We're going to film a little bit. I think we'll be going live from her channel. I don't know for sure yet, but I think that's what's going to happen. We might film a collaboration, and she's going to help me with some like rebranding. So there might be like a new channel banner and stuff. I don't know. We were talking. She's the reason why I finally got off my tush and put this thing back there. It's too bland with just the plant. It's better when the dude's there. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else. Okay, let's do 2 more questions, and then I'm really, really going. Okay, Kenneth says, those ads to oppose repealing Costa-Hawkins were so full of lies, I was literally depressed that proposition lost. But they would need to try again. Assemblyman Richard Bloom is big on that issue. Okay, I gotta screenshot this. You would figure that I would just like scroll back, but like I'm not that whatever. I'm going to screenshot it with my phone so that I can look up this thing that I don't know about. Okay. CDC announced today that they're authorizing a fourth booster shot for people with underlying conditions soon. Kenneth says the FDA and the CDC are about to approve a second booster shot this week. And Black Diamond, hi, you're in here. I'm about to log off though. Does the EDD have our 2021 forms yet for 1099 forms? No, but this is a good way to end this stream with this piece of information. Guys, if you are watching and you have not liked the video yet, you should do that. But also, if you haven't logged onto your California EDD UI online account in a while, please go ahead and do that now. I don't think that the 1099Gs from the EDD are ready yet. And, but if you haven't logged on for a while, that is probably where you're going to get your form unless they mail it to you. I don't know. They'll probably do both. I think last year you had to manually select if you wanted it electronically, which, by the way, I did, thinking like, oh, I'll get my electronic copy faster than I would get a mailed copy. But everybody actually got their mailed copies faster than I got my online copy. So this year I'm just going to let it happen, whatever happens. But if you do want to get that online or you want to check the status or whatever, a lot of people actually need to reset their passwords. So if you haven't logged on in a long time, it's going to say like, please choose a new password. So you need to do that. My ear really hurts. I'm going to have to go to the doctor about that. Okay, Twan says that, has anyone received their EDD tax refund because you have not? A lot of people have. That really depends on when you filed your taxes. If you filed after like March 15th of last year, most of the tax software programs like TurboTax, H&R Block already accounted for the refund or for the forgiveness on the first $10,200 in the programming, in the tax software programming. So it would only be people who really filed early. Kenneth, I don't want more shots. I don't want to take more days off. I don't want to have to make more separate appointments for me and my mom and my best friend and keep track of who's got what. I'm with the people earlier. Like I'm over it. Like I would do whatever I need to do to keep the community safe and my mom safe and me safe. But I would really love if I could do that without taking more shots. That's just me being right? Like nobody wants more shots. And I think the more shots that they recommend, the less likely people are to go out and get them because nobody wants to deal with it. It's a pain in the butt, but it's better. It's frustrating, right? We all want this to be over. King Khalid. There's not necessarily another check. Okay, guys. All right, check your UI online homepage. It's a good idea also because some people that were on regular unemployment briefly received PUA unemployment benefits and actually do need to submit their PUA proof of work, proof of employment, proof of self-employment, even though for the most part of their claim, they were a traditional claim. So log on to your UI online account. If you haven't in a while, be on the lookout for your 1099G. It's not the you know what. I got something in my throat. I didn't have any water. I've been talking for an hour and 33 minutes and I don't have any water. A shot a year, like a flu shot. Up until last year, I never got a flu shot. I don't want more shots, but I want to stay safe. Anyway, okay. I want you guys to stay safe as well. I will be going, I am going to put out a video tomorrow, so please watch that video. And join me when we stream live next Monday night at 9. Everything that I make from that video is going to go to an animal shelter. I don't know which one yet. And what else do I want to do? And any money that if you guys donate to me, which you don't have to, but I will be donating it to an animal shelter as well. Thank you guys so much for watching Shelly's Millions. Let me know what you think about this thingamabob, and I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.